Hi everybody, and welcome to Comics Tuesday. And today we're going to be talking about negative representations of women in comic books. Or as I like to call it, back issues. I love superhero comics. It's one of the longest running fictional histories out there. So there's a rich history, so many great characters, but they so frequently don't get women just right. And so I want to tackle this by starting on the outside and working my way in. So we're going to start with the aesthetics, with art. And the example I'm going to use is a couple of images by Rob Liefeld. And it would be really easy to pick on him. Everyone does it, but I don't want to take it that way. I love the guy and his work, but I do think it's fair to say that his greatest strength is also his greatest weakness. He likes to, in his artwork, make everything big and extreme and coming right at you. So that can go good or bad. So here is him drawing a woman, and here is him drawing a man. Okay, did you see that? Did you see that? You got Cap looking like he's taken all the steroids. He's just this god-awful blob. And the woman, her tits are huge. Breasts larger than her head. But, God, she's so thin. It's like she doesn't have any internal organs. It's a horror show. And that says a lot about the way we perceive gender. And when it's not the woman's body, it's her costume. If a superhero is a woman, it's pretty much a given that she's going to have parts hanging out somewhere. And you know, it's not exactly like Spider-Man goes around pulling out a spectacular spider dong. Well, a time or two. But moving on beyond that, there's the characterizations of these women. Right down to the mythologies. Entirely too many of the female superheroes out there are just gender-flip counterparts to male superheroes. So you got Superman, Supergirl, Batman, Batgirl, Spider-Man, Spider-Woman, Hulk, She-Hulk. It's just a little bit lazy. And it keeps the focus on the male characters. And so when you take that with their supporting cast, you get things like women in refrigerators. Which is exactly what it sounds like. Kyle Rayner's girlfriend was in his refrigerator. And that's not a sandwich anyone wants. And if they're not dead, then they're in peril all the time. Constantly kidnapped and injured, and it's the main source of drama is these poor, helpless women, and that's a problem. And one that really irritates me is the tendency to have similar men and women superheroes. And you gotta remember, these superheroes they're super powerful, they're larger than life, and you take the male and female versions of similar heroes, and they present it like the woman is just a little less awesome. And here's what I mean. Batman and Batgirl, both of them received a spinal injury from a supervillain. And Batman, when he had his back broken by Bane, he got better. And since then, he's kicked Bane's ass about a half dozen times. Batgirl gets shot by the Joker, receives a spinal injury, and because I'm ignoring the New 52, she never recovers from it. And in The Flash, there's a story where Wally West is fighting Hunter Zolomon, who is Zoom or the second Reverse Flash. And Wally can't keep up with him, so he gets help from his super fast friends. And in the story, Jay Garrick, Bart Allen, and Jesse Quick all give Wally their speed. They speed him up, and he overcomes Hunter. But of course, Jesse Quick loses her powers permanently. So, out of the three of them, only the woman loses her powers. Why? And then you have Spider-Man, Peter Parker, and Silk. Yeah, never mind. And then you have the characterization of their personalities. I think women, a bit more so than anyone else in comic books, are prone to be written like they're completely unhinged. You know, a character that's so far, up to a certain point, just been supportive and, you know, nodding and support for our hero, will suddenly turn and be crying psychotic because some writer doesn't know how to write a woman. And I hate seeing that. And I think worst of all is the viewing of a character's gender like it's magical. And I think the easiest way to fall into this is with pregnancy. There's a story in which Wally West's wife conceives and gives birth to a set of twins in all of about 5 minutes. And there's also an Avengers story in which Captain Marvel, who was Miss Marvel at the time, is raped by and gives birth to her own son. And so with all that, I think it's important to note that I am not trying to say that comic books are horrible and I hate them. I love comic books, clearly, or I wouldn't be making this show. I don't think the idea of having great female characters, great female heroes, is a hopeless idea. I think that it does happen and could happen more. I think there are a lot of great female superheroes and characters in general in comic books. So I'm going to tell you about some of my favorites. Spider-Man and his supporting cast. He's got a ton. He's got Aunt May, Mary Jane, Gwen Stacy, rest in peace, Anna Maria, Black Cat, and no, that's it. Superman, I think, consistently has well-written love interests, whether it be Lois or whoever else they decide to throw in from time to time. But now on to the heroes. And a lot of my favorite superheroes of all time are women. So you got Captain Marvel and Spider-Girl, and these two have something in common as legacy characters. Captain Marvel is filling in the role that was originally held by Marvel, and Mayday Parker, Spider-Girl, is filling in for her father, Peter Parker. I think an important aspect of them being legacy characters and filling that role is that it makes it more direct, the comparison that they have to male superheroes. You know, in the case of Marvel or Peter Parker. And so you can really explore it because it's made explicit. And you got Wonder Woman. It would be easy to write Wonder Woman bad. She's got the weakness that if a man ties her up, she's powerless, and her costumes aren't always the best. But you know what? A lot of capable writers have made her fit into this role that no one else in her universe could fill. And you got Witchblade, Sarah Pazzini, who is a great character when written well. But in her first appearance, the writing was solid enough. The art was just borderline pornographic. But because of a love for the character, a lot of great creators have come along and really done her stories well. They full-ass the writing. They have better artwork to represent a hero being a superhero. And I mentioned before, Batgirl. Barbara Gordon, after being injured in her spine, being paralyzed, she never recovered physically. But once the right writers got their hands on her, they did wonders. So think about it this way. Batman is the greatest detective in the world. Alright? And Barbara Gordon learned everything from him. And so her as Oracle really shows that. And there's a great character there. And in my mind, the New 52 never happened. And possibly, we saved the best for last here, X-Men. All I can really say is if I were to talk to you about every great female character and hero that have come out of the pages of X-Men, we could be here for days. And that's about all I got for this week. So now it's time for the viewer question, which is, who's your favorite female superhero? For mine, easily, it's Captain Marvel. But you leave your answer down in the comment section below. Don't forget to like my video, subscribe to my channel, and come back next week for the next episode of Comics Tuesday. And on the next Comics Tuesday, we have a hard-hitting discussion about, hard-hitting. Thanks for watching.